Hi, hello. So in today's video, I will be redesigning hazbinhotel characters, specifically Alistair. If you like the art in this video, you should like and subscribe. If you like these redesigns, I'll probably do more. And if you want, oh, and I have a Discord server. If you want to join that, link is in the description. Okay, this is gonna be very ranty, and it's not that I hate. It's that Alistair's design is like my Roman Empire. I think about it at least once a week and how much I hate it. This is gonna sound funny because my whole channel is cyberpunk themed. I love vintage fashion, alright? And the fact he doesn't even really look like he's from the 20s or the 30s. He looks like with the neck thingy, looks like he's from the Victorian era. He doesn't look scary. He looks, for all intensive purposes, submissive and breedable when he's supposed to be a scary demon. And it bothers me. And the hair. The hair bothers me the most. And his color palette, because he's more red than Lucifer, which makes no design. He looks more like the devil than the devil in the show, and that bothers me severely. You can disagree with me, but I obviously didn't want to make him, so I made him more deer-like. I also changed his color palette to orange and green because it felt more vintage than the red. I also changed up his suit because every character in the show has a suit, and I think it's time we need to diversify our fashion choices. So he's wearing something slightly more casual, something he could get dirty into, bury bodies and stuff. I also made his horns way more massive. And I gave him a stronger build to where you would realistically look at him and be like, hey, he is strong enough to kick ass. And I also changed up his microphone. I made it look more like a vintage mic that I saw on Pinterest, but I made it make it more look like a pentagram. I don't know how well I did with that, but I tried. And then again, I did give him more deer-like, so he does have a human face, but I gave him more animalistic claws and arms and legs. I gave him actual hooves because he's based off of a deer. Did no shit, I would believe he would have hooves, so I gave him hooves. Another thing I guess I wanted to just rant about his design that I guess it just bothers me generally because I'm not 100% a history nerd. I just tend to remember what I learned in history classes and random fun facts I come across. But what I do remember from my history classes is the 20s, when he would have been born, is the height of the ghosts. The Burning Cross ghosts is what I'm going to call them. You can look it up. It's actually terrifying to see. You can see that they would have giant parades and stuff. It's weird, it's wild, and terrifying and horrible. I don't think a mixed baby in the South at the height of the Burning Cross ghosts would be alive nor a successful serial killer. The only thing I can think of to where he would is if he was white passing. So I took that in consideration with his design because I know he would have probably been murdered by police before he even got to killing anybody, most likely, if he did not look white passing. Which is unfortunate, but it's just how life is. So I did take that into consideration. I also did some research on the outfits of the time. I based his outfit more on the 20s because the 30s was the Great Depression era, and it was more or less, I don't even know. I know most of the time I'm getting myself confused. Anyway, most of the time mixed babies would be killed, or it wasn't great. And I don't think I think ignoring that and the fact that Pop, I know I'm saying that wrong, just ignored it and slapped that he's mixed on there so he could practice voodoo is very insensitive without even thinking about it deeply, because that's what unfortunately happened. But okay, off of my off of this depressing rant that you could probably go research yourself more of how horrible people were back then, that I based his outfit more on the more like 20s-ish looking fashion. I did dress it down a little bit because he did die in the 30s, but I kept more of that 20s silhouette. I also took away the suit because I wanted him to look more casual, because he's a radio host. Radio hosts aren't seen. I don't think he'd be wearing a suit every day to his job. I also gave him something where he could like get dirty and be like digging up bodies or digging graves without it like completely messing up a nice suit, which for the time, you know, you probably, okay, even though everything costed a nickel, you also only made a nickel an hour. So it was, you wouldn't want to ruin your nice $20 suit that when you're making $2 an hour. So he probably would be wearing something less formal and a lot less older looking, because it is, it was the 30s, or he died, I would assume he'd keep with that fashion instead of just staying in the 1910s, especially as a young adult. As times change, people would change. So I did do that. I made his antlers more big because you can't tell he has a deer motif, and I think with cryptids, especially like deer cryptids, are freaking terrifying to me, at least, especially when I saw a picture on Pinterest where this is where I got the orange idea from. It had these 3 orange eyes and these giant antlers, and it was just a shadow. And obviously it's not real, but it looked creepy, and I wanted to take inspiration from that, so I gave him giant, scary antlers. I also gave him a tail because it's a disservice on how none of the characters have tails. Or not none of them, but a lot of them don't have tails. It's a disservice. Anyway, on to the next. Sorry, that turned into a bit of a rant because, again, I think about this character design at least once a week, and I finally got it off my chest. Mostly because of the race thing, because it's so insensitive to me. And also not knowing any sort of history is wild. Or not understanding that and just slapping something on because, oh, it's a close practice and that's all you know about. Anyway, on to the next design. I did Lucifer next. I could have made this a whole Alistair video and just ranted the whole time about how much I don't. But I've decided that would not be wise. For Lucifer, I actually like his design. Other than I think it could use more red. Because he is the devil. I know it's a whole stereotypical, but like when it comes to conveying designs, I think you also could have added more references to him in a way, because as you can see, I have the painting of him, of Lucifer, that's really old, that I don't remember who it's by. I know I just went on a rant about being a history nerd and I just don't remember who this painting's by, but trying to base his more facial structure off of this, because I do have a more realistic style. I also mixed their skin tones together to get something like a mix between the two, because I was trying to blend them together. I also took away the suit. I'm sorry, too many of these characters have suits, and it just variation. I made his cane more regal with the snake, and I think it's a pentagram. I drew a pentagram off the top of my head. It might be incorrect. And I gave him hooves because canonically him and Charlie both have hooves. So I made sure to add that. I also made sure to make it look like he did most definitely have the sin of pride by adorning him in some jewelry, making his cane really extravagant, giving him golden hooves. I also gave him, I kind of gave him like a suit jacket like he has here, but I placed it over his shoulders instead of just letting him wear it, just to give some more interest to his silhouette, so he isn't just wearing a suit. I also vaguely based this off of Hal's jacket and his hair, because the whole thing with Lucifer is that he was like one of God's favorite angels because he was the most beautiful. Yes, I did some Googling about Bible lore, which was not great. And so I was like, who is the most beautiful pretty boy that I can think of off the top of my head? And I was like, Hal is. Hal from Howl's Moving Castle is objectively a beautiful man. And so I based most of his outfit off of that, and his hair off of that pretty boy longish hair, because I was like, that makes sense. That's about right. I also gave him a snake for a tail to allude to the snake, the apple. I gave him a golden apple pendant, and I just tried to make him look a little bit more regal. Instead of having a crown, I gave him these double set of horns, which I thought would be like, maybe no other demon in hell has these double horns. But that's his crown. I thought that would be a cool idea. I was gonna give him his hat, but I took it off just for this drawing because I felt like, because of the size of the horns, they're too much. It was too much, and if he was to wear his hat, it'd probably be covering his horns, and I wanted to show off the horns. I also did the thing where it's like the horns are like splitting out of the head because I thought it looked cool. Next, I did Charlie because they are related. I don't have much to say. I actually really enjoy Charlie's design. I think she's super cute. She looks like a little doll, and I have a thing. I love dolls. I actually really like it. I just changed the suit. I gave her the same horns as Lucifer because if she's the princess of hell, she probably has the same crown, just a little bit smaller, which the crown is the horns. I gave her a bellhop outfit because I thought it looks more hotel-y to me. And I did a vintage one because I love vintage stuff. I love vintage fashion. I kept her skin tone the same. I made the little circles on her cheeks, little hearts, to show how sweet she is, and I made her tail like a heart shape because it's like she's just bubbly and filled with love. I also changed all the reds from being more like pink reds to like real like actual warm reds instead of cool reds. If you can notice it, it's not like noticeable. I gave her black pants like the bellhop. I didn't change her hair very much. I gave her gloves because a lot of okay, it's not shown in this picture, but a lot of like service people from back then wore gloves. I also was like, I don't think she wants whatever germs are on people's luggages. If she helps people with their luggage, I wouldn't want that caca on my hands either. So I gave her gloves. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a lot of fun doing these. I mostly had fun doing Alistair because I think about him at least once a week, and how much I do not like his design. Which is terrible. I haven't even watched this show. Every time I see fan content about him, I'm like, oh, I hate his hair so much. It's not even reasonable. I do not like his hair to an unreasonable point. Everything else about his design, I can live with the red. I can live with the suit that doesn't technically match with the time period he died in. I just can't live with the hair. Okay. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see. If you like this video, you should subscribe. If you guys want me to make more, I definitely will. My friend has a problem with the Beelzebub design, and I might fix that for him. I'd have to do some research though for that. More Bible lore research. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.